press another button. This is an awesome bounce.
Heavy bounce.
It was heavy bounce. What up, world? What's up? Yeah, we streaming. Really beaming. Look, I got a baby one of these, a long one and a baby one.
That's funny. Yeah, the baby one in the front, some baby ones on the side.
Yeah, those are they just got planted.
Look at this one.
Which one?
Right there.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a twist. It's not about hair. What we talking about are my lock, my facial hairs. It look like a snake's.
Yeah.
That's a good yawn.
I know.
You enjoyed your nap?
Yes.
What, could you have gotten like an extra 10 to 15, or was that just?
Oh, that could have easily been another like 2 hours.
Bro, we asked. I was like, yo, hour and a half. Yo, we went in this morning. Today's been this is day 3 of our diaries. So, man, peace to the squad and the tribe. I think we should start it off with some sound bowl. We ended it last time with sound bowl.
Start and end with sound bowl. I like that. What's up, man? We're doing our manifestations, man. Okay, bye, PC.
Yeah, once they tap in, they're part of the sound. It's just like when you tune into like how the sound hits you. It's just like pew. Your belly gets the people going.
Look at it. How can it not? I want to finish.
Finish what? Oh, your artwork. Shit. Super lit. So today, this is day 3 of the free birth journey into baby Imani. Our vulnerability moments.
We are growing, learning, changing every moment, and allowing ourselves to manifest our free birth. And I realized just now, which, sometimes my humanness getting in the way. The reason that we're doing this is just because we're putting the energy out to the meta. Like, this is like a manifestation. It's not about action, putting the request out to the multiverse.
Absolutely. These devices are broadcasting stations.
Right. To all of the vibrations that are connected to our brain space.
Mm-hmm.
Space.
All of the frequencies, and they get all of our downloads, our good, our bad, our negative, our positive, our up, our down. What's up, Sonia?
Sonia.
We got blessings from Naisha. We got blessings from Easy Does It. I posted a picture with the baby and us. Well, it wasn't like us and the baby, but it was baby Josiah, number 8, and you were in the picture, like following it in the reel. And that was like so.
Everyone's like, oh my god!
Congratulations!
Nope.
Shout out to KJ, but like, yo, y'all congratulate on the other part of the 9 nations, but that excitement for baby Imani, she's not here yet. They're not here yet. They're definitely gonna be non-binary, but we got a feeling that it's a she. We don't know what the sex is.
We don't.
Nah, we don't know what the sex is, and but us Armstrong shit, and not knowing the sex is how's that been?
Yeah, I guess it's equal parts. I've been like, I don't want to say that I want a particular gender because it just doesn't. The baby is what the baby is. So
Healthy,
healthy,
aligned.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does take a certain amount of self-control to say that, right? Because it's like it could be really easy for me to say like, yeah, I want a girl.
Right. I just want a healthy.
Exactly.
I want it healthy as it can be so that we can continue to build the foundation for it.
Exactly. Because the thing is like when we're building outside of the system, having ideas of what the baby is, like the baby has ideas about what the baby is, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
So,
Bus said that if it's a he, his nickname gotta be Bus.
what? Like the driver?
No, like the bus. Shout out to
I
Gail.
know.
Gail's the driver. Oh,
I'm just being facetious.
like the running back from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Who Gail loves. Nah, but truly, like I'm at 4 and 4 right now, and together, like I said, we are joining nations, and with our additions that we made, that makes 9. So I'm good with anybody anything that know what it is. Oh, you know you a star seed? Lead.
Right.
Lead. So today, the past few days, I had a dope therapist call with my therapist. Shout out to Naisha last night. It was more of a friend call. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. My fears of making sure that everything is in place for us, so similar to what you said when you first started, was like these going metas is not to really manifest it. What we desire need is to put it out to the broadcasting world. So being able to be faith-filled and at peace is everything. So we got to just discuss actively talking about not being able to be in my past 3 children that I had lives, not to be able to be around them like I want, how much that has, it kind of sparked our conversation today about the womb space. That's your body in your womb, but when we put our seed inside of it, it becomes our place.
And that's where the go back and forth comes, right? Because it's like ultimately this is my body, and we got into kind of a heated discussion because there's the logical, like I am operating from the logical standpoint of, from an empowered standpoint, my womb space is mine. My womb space is a part of my body, and it's my body and it's my choice. My body is absolutely, I am in control of my body. And I also understand what you were saying. It's like we're influenced by the people around us. And the chakras are influenced because of quantum mechanics. The chakras are influenced by the quantum entanglements that we have. So on a scientific basis, our chakras are in relationship to people, places, and things that we engage with.
Yep.
So
go ahead.
The balancing of the two interpretations of it, it comes to, I mean, we're both right.
And we're both wrong. And like we're both everything in between. It's just being able to speak that. I know that the children that I had prior to, I know that the womb space is a very powerful vortex to pull energy and frequencies in, and it creates life. And because we've created life, we've fathered children, we parented children, and then also the sensitivity of the humans right now is very interesting and exciting for us to be able to talk both from the human standpoint and also from a quantum physics. I'm a scientist.
Right, planetary perspective.
Yeah, like I have a cosmic. I'll be like, Nam yo denge kyo, nam yo denge kyo, nam yo denge kyo, nam yo denge kyo, nam yo. That means devotion to the cosmic law of cause and effects through sound. One of the things I brought up my therapist session because like she said I'm on a sabbatical of being able to speak, and I'm spending more time silent in my own world. That's why I was showing y'all my artwork. He's doing her artwork. And in that silent area, I'm able to speak to our child as well. I'm able to get messages as well. And I told you, like learning, I said it earlier when I gave you some of my food, like learning how to share, like from kindergarten on to like 3rd grade, I always got a needs improvement.
No, I feel you on that. Like there's a certain part of me that's like, fuck sharing. I get it, yo. I get it. It's definitely one of those things that you know is important, and I had to learn it. I really had to learn it, and I'm cool with saying that. You feel me? Because it really like it gives me the space to appreciate how much like when you really um, your demons allow you to appreciate your growth.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel you. Like, sharing is definitely something. If it's not one of those things that's immediately ingrained into you, it's one of those things that's kind of hard to learn. And the benefit of learning it and utilizing it every day is awesome. And also, uh, I love. Oh, my goodness.
That's a good one.
Oh,
They just got up from a yummy nap.
It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, man, like I'm not perfect. Like there's other things that I learned very well that other people struggle with. So I'm okay with saying like, yeah, like sharing was one of those things that I had to learn how to do as well. So big ups to you on choosing to learn how to share.
Hell yeah, and that's what children do. They start to teach you a lesson before they even get here. Uh, uh, yeah, Buzz said he's blessed to know us both. Keep blessing people like myself. Dope, bro. Hey, I love you too, homie. You remember Buzz, right?
Of course,
Hey,
of course.
Big ups to you on that one. Being able to share your journey, no matter if it's your journey through college, your journey through the military, your journey through entrepreneurship, a journey through parenting, there's a lot of things that come with it. Like you have the baggage or the blessings that come with parenting, from a mother-in-law, father-in-law, to grandparents, and we're doing things at a time where we're establishing new systems of governance.
Right.
Like, and we're doing it at a time where like there's intentionally trauma being stirred up between the less melanated population and the melanated population.
Us being an interracial couple at this time being a combination of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s all into one, into this like 2000, like everything's repeating itself. All the cycles are repeating themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just like from everything, like the 1920s, like the thing about time and its relativity and quantum mechanics. When we think about time being relative, there was this exhibit when we were at the Richmond Science Museum that explained how time actually works. And time is more like, instead of it being a linear concept that we follow, quantum mechanics teaches us that time is actually something that we kind of wade through, like air or water. Like it's something that we move through. Like us, this exact spot that we're sitting in has always been here, and there's always been energy floating around in this spot. So we are engaging with whatever timelines have existed in this exact moment. Just like when I walk into the kitchen, I walk to the store, like all of these places that we see visually now, like these are all indigenous lands. So all the indigenous ancestors are here. All the blood that's been spilled here, whether it be human or animal.
Bro,
the amount of water that's out here, like there's mad energy and timelines that exist everywhere, and we're just walking through all of them. And just because we don't see them doesn't mean they're not happening at the same time.
Big up to the Sacred Dog Farm with Gary and Lisa, right? You talk about all of the ancestors been here. Like we got to it was something dope. We stayed in on a like 47 acres of land out in like a rural area of Tennessee, and the owner said that they used to execute indigenous people in the backyard.
Whoa, I didn't hear that part.
Bro,
I remember them saying it was like
you missed that?
I didn't realize it was like an execution ground. I thought it was just a space that everybody had been
oh no, not execution ground. Like they executed people in the backyard. It wasn't like executed.
I mean, regardless, it doesn't matter. Like it's all still good.
Bruh, nigga, they killed indigenous people on this land. That
details of how and why are kind of irrelevant. It's still the same interpretation.
That's one of the things of being. That's why it's so important right now for us to document this journey. That's why it's important to have your rest and your chill times and not speak to everybody about your world. I come on here, we're broadcasting on 2 different YouTubes, 2 different Instagrams, LinkedIn and Facebook. Like, and we're recording the audio. So am I recording the audio? No, I didn't record none of that. I didn't hit the play button. Well, now we're recording the audio for the podcast. But the restream definitely gives us an audio to utilize. But we're coming from several different perspectives,
Right.
and we're sharing stories. That's why I shared the story about us going to Tennessee, because that's time traveling. I
Right.
called out the name so that we can get the images of the people. I just did a Instagram. I did a social media sorcery with them where we hugged and did the yam with Barry at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my Asperger brethren, and also dope producer, DJ, musician, writer, artist out there in Tennessee. We got to record down there, but we were recording. We were cleaning the altar. If y'all saw those pictures with us on the white pony, that's where we were, and that's where we experienced being on native land. It was very interesting. Like they was like, "Yo, do you see the ghosts and da da da?" I'm like, "I feel them." Yo, it was a lot. That sacred farm is called the Sacred Circus Farm. Spirituality, quantumness, and honestly indigenousness, because the ancestors, they were there speaking. They were speaking through grandma. They were speaking through the animals. It's a whole farm type area, and I bring it back from that story to right now because it takes a lot of faith to bring a child into this world. It takes a lot of faith, like to bring it in from a free birth standpoint.
Right.
I talk about bandwidth and capacity. It's just getting your fear and your faith balanced. People think once you get like a certain point of experience or wisdom that you don't have fear. It's not that you don't have fear. It's that you act in spite of the fear. It's not that you're not going to have disagreements. It's that you can disagree and still communicate through it. So that's one of the things that I adore by my last several partners that we've been with, and especially with this partnership. We can disagree, but we bounce back with understanding like that the quantumness or the planetarianness. Because I remember the story when we were disagreeing and we was by the Wawa, and then we got a dope ass sign from Imani.
Yes, and there was a cloud of a baby crawling across the sky.
Bro, we all looked up and looked at it and was like, what the fuck are we disagreeing for?
Yeah.
We got this beautiful baby here that is letting us know that everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
I think,
about a thing.
What I really appreciate about our relationship is that we both have an incredible space and capacity for unconditional love because of the level of unconditional love that we have for ourselves, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we really dive in deep when it comes to discussing like what does it mean to really be in union, and what does it really mean to go all in with somebody and commit not just to the partnership, but what the other people in the partnership are doing. It's like, look, I have a huge mission to create a mass media collective that creates empowering media so that people can have a platform to discuss liberation, and we're documenting the dope shits that's happening to combat the media, and then also creating an investment firm that actively funnels money from the upper class and middle class into liberation movements.
A legalized laundromat.
And then your mission is to build a digital underground railroad and utilize your consulting business to get people out of the matrix. Like those are four very evolutionary things, and having the space and capacity to be like, nah, man, it's like, it's not just about our union. It's like, I believe in what you're doing, and I'm gonna go all in with you because of what you're doing as well. Like, I'm here for your mission.
I love your mission.
I love your mission. I love what you're doing. I love the ideas that you have, and assisting each other with healing your family trauma is part of it. It's not that we expect each other to heal each other's family trauma for us. It's just that we hold space for the fact that we know that, dude, like, you got some shit going on. Yo, you got some shit going on. Bro.
Yo, we definitely got some shit going on.
But it's because we're intentionally transmuting, like, the level of self-realization. Like, self-realization is the concept that we are the conscious creators of our reality. right? So, and it is scientific. It's based on quantum science. We are all stardust. Is the classic corny shit that we love. 'Cause we love corny.
Corny over here.
We're all made of stardust, and us being made of stardust means that we are consciously aware that we have all of the elements of the universe contained within our body. And you can go into the deeper sciences of it with the vibration, everything being vibration and sound and wave and light. And self-realization is just the understanding that I create my own world, and I, because of that, can create manifestations that are aligned to me. And in that creation of manifestations, I can recognize that you're a reflection of me. This is me. This book is me, because we're all made of the same shit: atoms, vibrations, molecules, and light. And once we realize that we have the entire multiverse contained within our body, we have a certain level of influence on the world around us. A huge level of influence, depending on how far you want to go with it. My thinking is like, if people like the Rockefellers think that they can, and they have actively had a level of influence over the global mass population that they have, I believe that I have that level of influence too. It's just a matter of being able to balance it and work with it and utilize it in a way that is effective for my hopes and my dreams. Because as long as I listen to myself, I love myself, and I trust myself, and I know that my path is for the intention of raising a collective consciousness, I know that everything is going to be aligned.
It has to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of the things about these moments, right? Like, our first talk, we decided to do this. We got on the same page. From knowing that we wanted to have our child, first off, we wanted to have it on the West Coast. Like, I wanted to have this child. I love Oakland. Like, I already have a child born in Oakland, so I wanted this baby to be born in a lonely land. It's way more freer than the East Coast. I'm gonna be 1,000%, because, and what I mean by freer, it's the mindset, the vibrations, the communities, the opportunities are like through the roof for people like us that are living out of their suitcases, traveling around, being able to clear altars. When we got into our car accident in October, we thought the car was gonna be totaled, like plain facts. So instead of it being total, it just was total in the time. That's what was total. The time take to get it fixed. So we ran through a lot of our funds that we were going to use.
We went through all of them.
Yeah, we did.
We ran through all of them.
We ran through all of the funds.
We ran through all of the funds. We're actively like negative in terms of what we visualize and see in the bank account. And
hey, my account ain't negative. I got $2.96.
And we got that $20 bill.
Just got a $20 bill. So I got a credit union account with like 97 cents in it. So I'm not negative. The account that your parents got for you, that you got that one?
No, all of my accounts are negative.
Oh, what I'm saying is, did you get those accounts when you were still in the indoctrinated system? So, like, you wasn't handling your finances until this past year. And what I mean by handling your finances is the accounts wasn't. You had an accountant, bro. You got born into an accountant.
I get what you're saying. I've had access to all of my own money. I've had a bank account since I was 16. I've been making my own money since I was 16. And my mother set aside a Fidelity account that she had been curating for. She took the money that was given to me from my family and invested it into stocks, and has been curating it for me. And I recently got the password for it and have had access to it and haven't done anything with it. And then my other account, which was the money that like I said, I've had an account since I was 16. So But what you're saying is that in terms of the level of influence that the magic of my family has had over it.
Yeah, like,
that's
so
what you're talking about.
I'm all of my relationships, I deferred the money to whoever, like, dealing with the money. Like, it could be your parent, your wife, your business partner. When I was business partner with my brother, the accounts we had together for the business was still his account. and because he had heavier influence on it. I know this year we got access and we were able to go into your accounts and be able to put the money into things that your mission.
And as you develop your strawman, now you'll have your own account to be able to influence, and I'll be engaging with my account from its own space.
And that was one of the main reasons that we did this manifestation. Like I've always had, I got like 4 or 5 different cards over the past 2 or 3 years. I'm not connected to this society, but I do have access to that world. And creating this means for us to communicate. One, when I brought up that story about depleting the funds, because you never know what's going to happen. And that's the thing about a baby. And you can't really, they tell you can plan for a rainy day, but what if it's raining for like 3 weeks straight? And 3 weeks could be 3 months.
But I think that's the essence of what financial planning is that you set up yourself in a way so that you know that you have your contingency plans taken care of. I mean, of course, there are crazy emergencies, right? But I, like, as someone who grew up in a position of having my finances be in a, like, we called it responsible, because that was just the first word that came to pass. It's like I know what money management looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what the vibration is. Like, I can't pretend to excuse myself and not know that I know what it feels like. Like, I know how to handle money. And in relationship to that, like, there's also because of the there's the blood money aspect of it, though. You feel me? Like that absolutely is a thing.
So all monies have the bloodness attached to it.
And you can be, and it's
that's one of the main
reasons. It's a skill that gets learned.
That's one of the main reasons. As once we started, I've always been a gamer. I've always been into technology. I know money was a necessary part, and I now know that my money is my spirit, my soul, how much I put into the things that I desire. And in that, like, that's why what I bring to a space and area is priceless. This brings it back to the womb. When we decided to get pregnant, right? Because I'm not having sex with nobody unless you want to have a baby. And even if you don't want to have a baby, if you want my sex, I'm not sharing like how my seed, you can't produce semen.
That's true.
So if you want my semen, which is a very powerful thing, comparable to the woman's womb, right? Like, we're using that for reproduction. It's a sacred item. Mine's is priceless. In that, we got access, because even before our engagement with you, we got access to a dope-ass Pakistani family. Before that, we got access to a dope-ass Haitian and Puerto Rican. Before that, we got access to Geechee Gully land, indigenous from here, old money that had gas stations and stores. Baby Trinity mom, shout out to Terry. They had it in the 50s and 60s and 40s, in times where having property, assets, and resources in this country was really, it wasn't the easiest thing to get. So we love that you know how to move the assets and resources. That's why Reimagining Solidarity, and funneling your funds to our communities, our community partners, to our people, places, and things. You like bringing up human design, right? Your human design told you that you were going to prepare for a time of going into the red. Mm-hmm. You was going to prepare for a time of being negative, and in that preparation, it was going to put you in a position to be ready for the next come up. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing about Flux, because you have had account 616. Like me, like I've always had to, like, my mom stopped giving me money for real. Like, she's always been in position to make sure that I can have it, but my mom doesn't really have a dope sense of money and moving it. She gets it, spends it, does with whatever, but in that, she knows how to have merit. Like, she knows how to do for people. She, like, the corn magic. That's why when I first started seeing you do corn magic, I was like, This is why you can spend a small amount of time around somebody, and in that time, they're going to miss you because you're going to do core magic there. No matter if it's washing the dishes, no matter if it's caring about what you hear from them, you're going to be able to speak that and leave them with something. And that's one thing my mom, regardless of how much money we ever had, because we came from the bottom, we always had our basic needs and necessities.
And the thing is like both of my family came from the bottom too. Both of my family members were very, very poor. They grew up. My mom grew up in the country in a space probably no bigger than this living room, with 8 or 9 people living in it in Hong Kong, in the projects in Hong Kong. And then my dad grew up in the country. And the thing is that because of the fact that they benefit from their skin privilege, and they benefit straight up from their skin privilege, they're able to focus more on being able to cultivate the skills that come with financial money management.
Yeah,
because they had more space to. They weren't constantly engaging. They were not exposed to the level of trauma that highly melanated beings, or just melanated beings, period, middle to highly melanated beings deal with, because of the fact that they have lighter skin. And so they had more space to be able to actually learn the skills of financial money management, and we're able to think about it from a place of like, okay, like I desire to accumulate wealth, I'm going to invest in this, and that. They succeeded very well in the old school program.
Bro, they still succeeded. They're winning. So it's like, it's the same thing I told my aunt. Like, even though I bring up my mom, like, my family's royal. Like, we're royal as fuck. Like, the circumstances you start with doesn't determine them. And my bringing up my statement on how I utilize money, just like the word LOVE, the way money is in a capitalist society has a lot of blood or density to it. So the ones that was made in a certain time frame, allegory wise, you want to wash that and clean it as much as possible.
Right. And the thing is like I don't think it's like everything belongs. Like one of the things that we've talked about is how like one of the things that we heal and we're healing with is our ancestral trauma, right? And so part of me growing up in the suburbs was that I never knew anything of what it was like to be I never knew anything of what it was like to be without. I always had, especially being an only child. And that's what we desire to give to our children. What my family always told me was like, what you have access to is what we believe every child should have access to. Which is an abundance of opportunity and assets.
That's what money gives you. Money gives you opportunity
Assets.
And assets and access.
Mm-hmm. And they believe that everybody should have that, and they gave that to me. And my feeling in my soul, though, was because of the self-realization and because of the level of desiring to heal. I've always felt that I when it comes to the money that was in the accounts, there was like the stocks were in like Tesla and Pfizer and shit, and I was like, I don't want to have my energy
super white stocks.
I don't want to invest my soul into these companies. Like I don't want my soul to be associated with these companies, and I didn't have the knowledge then of being able to transmute the energy that I do now. If I had known now how to transmute energy, I could have just washed it myself and engaged with it the way that I wanted to.
Ancestors trying to give space for that, and like until we got into these positions where I know I crashed the car because my grandfather stepped in. I know we did, like there was always pockets, right? There was pockets where that's what clearing the clutter in the altar does. It allows you to hear yourself clearly. And where we are with our child and raising the funds and assets so that we are in a position to have the Airbnb, to pay for the doula and the midwife, and to be in position to make sure that Imani comes in with the most peace and clarity and in alignment and strength, less stress. Like one of the things about being in the capitalist society, it's just how you like feel towards money. That's one of the biggest things. If like I told you that I know that my children are the most priceless things ever. And when you get a child, it's a big blessing. And because everyone wants to give you stuff, like especially in the family, you used to say, like, part of Taoist tradition, every year on your birthday you get a red envelope. Like
Every
that's a
celebration.
tradition. The more you do your traditions, the more you stay tuned into your ancestors. Like most people don't know blackface is a tradition. It's a tradition because the white people that were conquered, the Spaniards that were conquered, they were conquered by Muslim Moors that were dark skinned. And in that, it's actually reverence to their tradition. But because there's a lot of melanated people that get sensitive about blackface, they're, oh, that's racist. Nigga, like there's tradition and then there's ignorance. And if what you're doing is rooted in tradition, then you can discuss the ignorance. That's why, like, I know that I haven't had to really like stress about my lodging, my transportation, and sustenance for over 6 years, regardless of how much money I've had in my account. If I had a wallet, like I would wake up and I would tune into my tradition, and that will allow me to tune into my children, which will allow me to get blessed by, because I'm God's child. That's one thing I know is about you. Like I just showed you the $20 we got. I got a job opportunity. Yo, it's only been 3 days, bro. Like 3 days, and we got all these opportunities of manifesting the situation that we hoped for.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the most important things that we can do when it comes to moving forward with, I've found that taking accountability is one of the most important things that I can do for myself, to be rooted in a sense of integrity. And I think being able to talk about me is one of those things that every couple has to talk about.
I love talking about it.
Because money is one of those things that really, like, money is it's something that we can view as a tool of abundance, and it's abused as a tool of destruction more often than not. And people fight over money more than they fight over anything else. That splits families, it splits partnerships, it splits nations. And being able to discuss it from a place of like finding a middle ground of communication, because everybody has their own idea of what money is and their own idea of how they want to engage with it, and being able to find a middle ground as to where both people, all parties involved, feel comfortable with being able to move forward with communications about money.
It's about being heard, like being heard. When I heard you, like everyone, they heard you when you made your video and you said your slate was clean and that we had assets, but like because you have never been in a situation where you had to really want for anything, right? Like, yeah, people gave you. So when you are in that situation, your stress button comes in, your fight or flight comes in. So this is what my therapist said: if I'm operating from my fear or fight or flight, because that's what a fight or flight is a defense mechanism, I'm not really operating in faith, and they don't occupy the same realms. So instead of me trying to run out and get a job, that's what my aunt told me to do. She's like, go get a job so you can be around your children. Nigga, if I got a job, how am I being around my children? I got to give 10 to 15 hours a day to them, to the job. And then if I do really good, they might want more time. So I know that my children have been taken care of, that my children and their moms haven't had to struggle. Had they had to work to balance off the vibration? Absolutely. But what we've done and with clearing out our altar and getting around others and helping them, our merit is through the roof. So that when the moment we ask the ancestors for assistance, they provide.
And I think now, like, what I see in our situation is that, and this is me taking responsibility for my own sense of what money management is and for engaging with my own sense of finances. It's like, I know that I'm not attached to money because of the fact that it's very clear to me how much in my life I've had subconscious programming that everything is taken care of. Like, it's programmed into my mindset that everything's going to be taken care of, and finances is an aspect of that. And I also recognize that at this point, when it comes to engaging with finances, like I am stability is important to me, and being able to know that the reason why we engaged with my money the way that we did was exactly as necessary. I regret nothing. We're not doing that again.
I'm gonna do it however many times I can. Like I have zero attachment to income. You don't have to do it again.
Exactly,
Like
and
that's why we took responsibility. Like you halfway gave us access to the money on multiple occasions because of your normalcy. Like I'm very, how you call it, irresponsible with money. This is why we have these talks. I'm not looking to be politically correct. We're looking to express ourselves. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take major risk with large amounts of assets in the 500,000s and the millions, so that more can come in. I know that what I will change, right, is how I engage with my family and friends that I've done stuff before. Like that's one of the biggest things. My pride would rather me sleep in a tent with me and my grandma and my child's mom than beg somebody. Beg. And the reason I say beg, because you have to ask them, and then you have to ask them and make them feel uncomfortable. We asked 2 people within our timelines. It's like, oh, you put us in a tough position. No, we didn't. You could just say no. Like that's the only thing that I feel what I would do different in going forward, because there was no way to strategically plan for what we're doing with this baby right now with all of the interference. There was absolutely no way, because your family just let go of that money in October, November timeframe. And that's because they saw that we depleted a good amount of it, but they constantly influence how you looked at the money, and then you got to influence yourself of knowing everything is good. And then like where we was telling you, like, all that money you paid yourself so you can invest it into your client. Who's your client? Mindset Detox TV 369 consultant.
Right. And this is where I can look at myself and take accountability for myself again. It's like I absolutely was codependent on my parents, and I became codependent on you. And in becoming codependent on you, in that switch over, I did not listen to my inner self and engage with it. Because the thing is like, by you saying you had control over my assets, at any point I couldn't be like, actually, you don't.
Yeah, you did that a couple times.
And
you did that a couple times,
and that's
then
fully, and that's
like
fully,
72 hours within this is where relationships go into awesomeness. But you can finish your statement.
Absolutely. And this is where being firm and on your square, it's like, yes, like I hear what you desire, and this is what I know that I need. In many relationships,
you see this right here just now, like I said,
in many spaces and times, like and this is where the all belongness of everything is important. I look back and I know how important it was for me to engage with all of the timelines that we did. It was very important for me to be able to know what it was like to be fully belong.
And that's the dopeness of all belonging, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it all belonged, but it all belonged, but no, it all belonged. And like,
we can improve.
And in the improvement, like, money is just a means of currency exchange. Like, one of the things about it, we wouldn't have had to spend as much if your family didn't stop supporting you. If my family didn't stop supporting my grandma. Like, it wasn't even codependence on me. Like, one of the things, yes, absolutely.
It could have been, like, I could have used my money more.
No, your mom is an accountant. She should be able to account the business.
But
one of the dope things
like,
about it, why would you have a baby and still have to be the accountant when you, like, from 16 to 27, that's 11 years, right? I've had a job. I've had jobs. No one should be codependent on me on money. Not the way I engage with money. I spend that shit. Like, that's what Ox was saying. He was like, yo, I saw 33,000. So what? Nigga, I'm watching this. I'm using it accordingly. So you had those 11 years. And then when we engaged with your parents before we left the Bay Area, and what we told them what we was doing, like I said, I've been very calm in how I engage with people that I know that they went to school and they've been learned on how to do a certain thing. The only reason your family took out of this is because of the generational shit in regards to how I came. And this is the dope thing I said. I said I captured her womb, but I captured the womb and the accounts, the assets and resources that come with it. Like I say capture because I'm gangland. I'm a vet. I'm a country. I represent a nation. I work for the army. Like the United States government go and capture shit. Like, and I did that by one putting a seed into your womb, and then also planting seeds into your businesses with my businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So the dope thing about, like, I know you did a great job. You know how you say you proud of yourself? Those are the moments where you like, I'm proud of myself. I did it and da da da. But I hear it. Like, it's so awesome to have the ear. To have the ear, right? Like, I don't care about the words because you've said this a couple of times. This is where we're transmuting, and we've done a lot of spells today. And in doing those spells, we were transmuting a lot of her family's energy from the past 72 hours. Because since we started this manifesting, everybody started coming out of the woodworks.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, they come out of the woodworks and they snatch attention. And then the attention about money or the attention about how we're going to do this, it shifts. So that was one of the dopest things. Like, that's what about us. You get to learn your lessons. Like, and and that's why I let everybody know my lessons. I did exactly what I wanted with that money. We paid Dreams in the Flesh to come out to the Dreams in the Flesh ENT, the Tsunami Sam, Leo Mercer. We had Corey Ja. We had Seven. I did exactly what I wanted with the money.
And this is where, like, thinking about it in terms of collaboration, like, we did that.
Yeah, so
we did that, and the thing is that,
did you want to do it? Like, because it's like, that's the thing. You can say we did it, right?
Yeah, we did, and just because, like, this is because I'm taking full accountability for who I have been in relationship to all of this that we're talking about. Like, we engaged with it, and that's why I'm saying it's like, when it comes to, like, I learned my lessons and I know what I'm gonna do moving forward.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, if you and it was dope because we're gonna listen back to it. She was like, if you didn't become codependent on me for the XYZ, we would have been good. I'm like, nah, like, you're not supposed to come codependent. Like, that's not where...
It's not about supposed to, or it's just a matter of fact. It's just a matter of a matter of observing myself and being able to say, this is what I did, this is how I engaged, and I see that, and I'm not mad at myself about it. I'm not ashamed of myself about it. Like,
because you push the shame.
It taught me the lessons that I need to.
You push the shame. That's why you wouldn't feel it. Like, the thing about it is the statement about telling, I didn't become codependent on you. We talking about the interdependence of our relationship yesterday. I was like, the whole dependence, the whole purpose of a self-love tyrant, right, is that they love themselves enough to know that when they're not on them shits, on themselves, it's not them. It's like, I feel it in my stomach. You saw me beating up my stomach and dancing today, right? Like, I did a lot of rituals today. From rapping to writing to dancing.
Well, breaking
codependency
is one of the
I've been breaking codependency for the past several partnerships. That's why I know that I went in this with no codependency, and my intention was to keep it as business as possible. Like,
you can still be codependent and still, like,
I know
codependency is something that requires, like I know you were codependent.
People become codependent when they're in a relationship. That's one of the reasons why I kept saying I'm not in a relationship. This is a partnership. That's why we kept talking money.
I mean, you can still
assets. I know where we entangled our missions. So in that entanglement, like, this is where we're dependent on raising this child. So everything that, like I said, this is why I wanted to have this conversation about capturing in the womb space, because, like, you telling me what I was, and I'm like, I don't.
We've had conversations about it.
Like,
codependent on grandma, codependent on breaking.
I really, and because you're a projector, right? You project things into my frequency that we know we've already passed. Like, I've already got past that. Like, I've already got past it in those moments of our intimacy. From us communicating, like you said that I talk to you to take your energy, so to use your space. And I'm like, yo, I can talk to a lot of people. We're just around each other, and there's a back and forth with our energy exchanges. Like, just how you woke up, right? And you was like, I can't. Da, da, da. You asked the question wrapped around the baby, which was an awesome question. How you gonna get used to not having the baby inside of you, right? And I'm like, you see what you're doing? I'm finishing
I
something
mean,
up.
we're still finishing out the codependency space just because of the fact that we are around each other.
At the moment you realize you have a problem, you can get rid of that. That's where it's like, I don't even want to be interdependent. I'm good on that terminology. That's where, and when you're in the midst of a spell or spellings for the several weeks,
Interdependence is how the universe functions.
that's a
It's
way.
not.
It's an infinite amount of ways for the universe to work.
We're interdependent on air to breathe.
There's entanglements, there's quantum entanglements, which are, you don't have to, everything you have is within you. This is where your Taoist was coming up earlier.
That's the ego.
Everything you have is within you.
Life is interdependent.
You just said your body and your womb is all yours, so everything that you have is yours.
But it's a level. But I mean,
like, you see what we're doing right now. This is a debate.
Yes,
and I told you, she likes the debate. We create like spreads where, like, I'm building on how I'm going to utilize the monies that I captured and move forward. But you go ahead, let's debate. Because like what debating does, it drains the energy from our manifestations. And that's why, like I said, I know when I talk to you, and every time we talked about money, I always had to talk to your parents, even though I don't get to talk to them. I get to talk to how they look at money through you, which is very annoying because they're not here on this mission. They don't support you or your mission, and you're defending them in discussing how my interdependence or codependence. No, I wasn't. That's why we asked the question to you earlier. How much you think I loved you? Like I said, Terry loved me a lot more than I loved the situation. So when I asked you how much you think I loved you, and we went through boot camp, I put you in boot camp. Like, you didn't request to go to boot camp. You didn't offer up your funds in the beginning. Like, your parents were still paying you a certain amount of allowance until they found out that you were pregnant by me and that you weren't listening to them. And they took that shit away. And we was like, oh no, y'all not taking away this money while we about to go on tour. Nah, I'm good. Because one, being able to entangle with you, because I don't have to be dependent, it caused rifts in other partnerships that my dick was going into, my sexual intimate partnerships. And those rifts is because you take up a lot of space in the heart, in the lower chakra regions.
Yeah, I have an expectation for an A and I got a D.
Bruh, exactly. So in those, right, I enjoy having these exchanges because we're given new system of governance. I told you, I'm a whole nation. I came to you with things value way more than $100,000. Spending time around my daughter and doing art with her. Being able to, like I said, a lot of the things that I share from our tour, everything was a tour. That's why none of this was, oh, we were just going and enjoying each other's family time. No, we were doing business. And the people, places, and things that were in your world and that were in my world, like they ran into our rifts because of our lack of being on the same page. That's why we go so hard with memorandums of understandings. When the last time you looked at the understanding, the MOI?
A couple days.
Exactly. Before her family threw the interference in about our baby and them taking care of the birth shit. They're not taking care of it. That's one of the reasons that we went into having to do this vulnerability mode and to be able to articulate from a quantum or planetary way all the way down to the human way. There's nothing human about me. So interdependence and codependence is a human trait. So like, yeah, there's vibrations that are in there because I have epigenetics, right? But when I vibrate to a certain frequency, we vibrate out of that. That's a human thing. And we got to learn that by being with you. And we got to learn that by being with Dina. And we got to learn that by being with any person that shows us interest. That's a part of having Asperger's. Like, people show interest in us and be like, ooh. But I'm like, yo, I get people to show interest into what I'm doing all the time. Like, we have people that wanted to have our baby. Like I said, you didn't willingly want to have this baby. So in that, the dependence that you've connected it's the love for that it seeps out. And like, because I show love for our mission and your mission, this baby, It creates a dependence, a code. I ain't gonna call it codependence or fucking interdependence, or I call it a dependence. Because if you break the word down, the word dependence is in there. That's why I drop the E's off of anything that have EX in front of it. I drop the E off if I can, because it X's out whatever I'm about to say. Like, like that shit is crazy how English words are. So I this is part of the clearing of the spell. It came up last night when I talked to my therapist, and like we've been having this moment because of that dependence thing. The first moment you showed me that, the first moment that you showed me that you rather listen to what your parents say how money should be and how we're moving it. And like I said, having a third party that does talk money and they can both talk spirit at the same time will allow the mediation of a sound exchange to come off. That's what y'all are. Y'all are our observers. And whenever we speak things or we jump in and interject, because that's what a dialogue is.
It's the question of spending your money versus other people's money.
I spend other people's money all the time because nobody really can afford my level of consciousness. That all the time, all the time. OPP, you down with OPP? I've been out here collecting assets and resources, and it's not even spending. You saw me do work in people's businesses without giving them money. I don't need money to do what I'm doing. I don't. I just require a group of individuals that have enough belief so that we can manifest. So us, like that's one of the things why in religion they get people to renounce their allegiance to their family and friends, their culture, their finances, so that they can raise their faith. So I'm glad we had this moment. And one of the things about these vulnerability moments, I tell E all the time, she can't tell me about me. I can ask you, why do you think that? And then she can give her perspective. But I truly know me just like she truly knows her. There's moments where in your conversation just now, you said that you wish you would have stepped in and took control of the vibration of money. You never ever let it go. So it's just like, and you would feed us these sounds that you were giving us control.
I could have taken. I definitely could have taken like I could have invested more into myself. I could have invested more into our businesses.
Everything went into our business. Everything we did.
Into mine.
Everything we
if I had
did.
invested more into mine, we would have been in a different situation. But
What? Different?
Yeah.
Oh, for real? How you know?
Because this is where the space.
How do you know?
This is where the space and capacity is. Because it's like what happened was that I had ideas for my business, and I was not in a position ready yet mentally to be able to actually facilitate the growth of them that I knew that I needed to do. I knew that I needed to engage with learning the different things of having a trust, of having an LLC, or all of that stuff, because the thing is that as we're building new systems of governance, having these cushions around your business as you establish your own paperwork, as you establish your own way of navigating through the colonizer system, it adds that extra layer of cushion of where it's like, okay, not only do I know how to play your game and I'm playing y'all in your game, here's my game on top of that. So y'all can't touch me at all. And I've known that's the starseed protection, that's the creating of the family trust, that's the I saw something about how it's no longer having an LLC, but having a creating a business trust and not having it directly tied to your name. There are these different ways of engaging with business to where you play the colonizer's game and you build on top of it, so that not only you know the game, but you fuck them up by creating your own.
Yeah.
And I've known that that's what I've wanted to do, and I didn't have the space and capacity for that because of the fact that the money that I had was attached to the energetic cords of my family.
Yeah,
so in order to get to
so
a place,
in
order to get to a place of where I desire to engage with finances in the way of where I know it's really just a tool.
That's all it is.
Money is just a tool, and I can still engage with it the way that I desire to. And now this time around, I can utilize all of the knowledge that I have, which is the money management.
And there's still more knowledge to be made about money. So like that's why, like I said, she said all of those words to say that yes, you spent the money and watched it effectively, but I should have spent the money certain way for my business. And it's like in that, right? You're like, I didn't know how to spend the vibrational escrow, and that's why you came along to be able to spend it a certain, because I don't really have attachments to money. And like I said, I haven't paid taxes in several years. I operate off of merit and loyalty and words and bonds. I have a lot of that, and that's why we go where we go. Yo, you was on a dope ass commercial for some of the hottest fucking open mics
Hell yeah.
in RVA, and that like I said, that's a promo that your sound is now in Speak Freely sound and reimagining solidarity. Their sound is now echoing through communities that is grabbing their attention. So it's like we hear you, and that's why coming back and going forward, like our contract was up. Our mindset detox contract and our 369 contract is up with Speak Freely and Reimagining Solidarity. And as we move forward, actually, it's a 369 Mindset Consultant is working directly with Reimagining Solidarity so we can clear the space and bandwidth so that they can utilize millions of dollars. Because the dope thing about it, you're either looking at what you have and utilizing it to get what you desire more of, which I was gaining merit. I didn't care about cash. We had a lot of it. We had a good amount of it that all needed to be washed. And when I got the idea or download or upload that it all got to be washed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the awesome thing about it. We had Denise, you had Desiree, you have all of these people, places, and things where if you would have took control of your finances, because I wasn't moving your finances for you, I was moving the finances for Mindset Detox TV business and the tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was moving it for. And in doing that, that's even why when I talked to Naisha last night, she was like, "Y'all don't have the Airbnb yet." Nope. It's definitely en route, because like I said, there's agreements that have to go into place in order for things to come into your manifestation. And like the way that your algorithm was made up until January of this year, like it was focused on, yeah, I'm taken care of because everybody is going to take care of me. And I was telling you, the people that was taking care of you stopped doing that. If they would have continued to hold that space, you would have been reminded, you would have been, because they would have been assisting you in your process of weaning off of them. But instead, because I came in and we ripped the band-aid off,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a short learning curve to be able to either fly or fall to your death.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it all belongs. It's all necessary. Like it's all, like it's because everything is always in the now moment. When I look at the now moment, like that experience that I had with the honeydew, I never would have had that experience. And having that experience was very, very important to me, because it's a reminder always that life is a blessing if you choose for it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always known that. And being able to explore the depths of what levels of blessings you can engage with. Like, I've always had fruit for dessert. After we would eat dinner with my family, we would just eat fruit. It was, I mean, I appreciated it and I loved it, but it just makes me able to appreciate it in a way that I never have before. And that's ultimately what spirituality is that you just practice a level of gratitude to come to a place of balance so that you can observe things and be in a place of like, I know that all is taken care of because all is unconditional love. Unconditional love doesn't mean that everything's love and light. Unconditional love is an acceptance of all that is.
Yep.
And so being in that position is like, I know that, and everything is a lesson, and every lesson is a blessing, and every lesson that I've learned thus far has gotten me to exactly where I'm at. And like the thing is that I needed to have, like, on this journey, like, it has been traumatic, it has been exhilarating, but it needed to happen exactly as it did, because I had been in spiritual survival mode for my entire life. And this was the straw that allowed my camel's back to break. It allowed me to feel. It allowed me to actually tap into who I am and feel who I am and not have barriers in the way trying to get me to like my level of influence, the level of influence that I knew that I had was being blocked by people who had influence over me.
Yep.
And in that, like, I did need to have a mental break. I did need to have a collapse. I did need to have a complete restructuring of what I needed in order for me, or what I needed. I needed to have a complete collapse of what I knew in order for me to rebuild. And that includes the money. And I can look at it from a place of like, not only is this something that caused me great duress, I can look at the flip side of it. That duress was absolutely necessary for me to come on to the other side and be like, all right, and we out here. Like, I needed that.
Bro, this
I
baby.
needed that reset. I needed that reset in order to come back to what reality really is.
And that's why I'm a shaman. Like, I don't have the attachment to the U.S. currency or any currencies.
All right, and now that I really like, I never really have either, because of the fact that, like, growing up in the suburbs, like, I was a spoiled child. Like, I knew that I was taken care of. But now, in addition to that, I'm like, man, like, fuck all that. I'm gonna just use y'all. I'm gonna use the tools that y'all have in order to be able to funnel that shit and rebuild that shit. Decomposing the system.
And that's what they thought.
Utilize the nutrients of capitalism to rebuild. A mushroom decomposes a carcass.
And that's what they thought they was going to do to us.
And turns it into life.
That's what they thought they was going to do to us. That's why we paid ourselves. Like, that's the thing about.
And that's what it is.
Bruh, like, I'm not playing with nobody that, because this is the thing. You were slumming it. Like, and like, I read energy pretty well. And your sounds that you gave on your Speak Freely was as if you wasn't a spoiled person that had things taken care of. It was more so like, I'm out here with y'all, like, yeah, the system fucking sucks and da-da-da.
Well, I had 100K.
Bruh, like, what? Niggas is hungry. Like,
big facts. I could have been.
Bro, you could have had sponsorships. You could, like, Speak Freely could have gave out prizes. And, like, the reason Gold Beams did what it did, like, Gold Beams, you was like, yo, they took what you did and ran with it because they was giving back to the community.
Facts. I wasn't giving back to the
at
community.
all, bro. So, and like,
that's a lesson that I really needed to learn.
So, like, there's a price to pay when you come to my hoods. Like, I went all the way to Oakland. Like, she's from Castro Valley, and I was in Oakland, and I saw what you were doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw it, and I felt it. And in that, once we saw how much was there, we was like, oh, nah, we got to have a lit tour. Fuck out of here, bro. Like, because, like, what you're saying and what you're actually doing and living, it's not the same thing. Like your investments into the taxes, all that. So it all had to happen. And that's why, like, I get to learn. Like, I worked for banking industries for almost 8 years. I know how I learned money. I learned money and communications in the Army. And while I was in the Army, I worked on helicopter radios. So, like, where I'm at now, this 6 days of vulnerability, it allows us to activate shit. Right. And, like, I get to get called out. I call myself out. That's the best thing you should do. Call yourself out. Mm-hmm. And then take accountability. You call yourself out. But the moment you point a finger, I'm looking at those 3 fingers pointing at you. I don't even see the finger you pointing at me. I know it's 3 fingers. All the time. I shoot all the time. And if I'm shooting from a wrong place, then you got me. I'm good. I'm a cowboy, nigga. Arrow shooting.
Yeah, man. And it's dope because it's like, because I know, like, by draining the account, like, now I get to rebuild from the bottom up.
Yeah, man, you can, and your parents won't have no say in that shit. They thought they had say over it, but without having say over it.
Right.
You want to help and run this without helping and running.
It's crazy, dog. They're like
what?
It's like, it's the energy of buying your love. It's like, okay, it's like this. This is me engaging with what the family dynamic is, right? So I have a dream. I have a dream that I desire to create this mass media collective. And organizing, that's one dream. And then the other one is to organize the suburbs and have people who desire to invest into liberation movements to be able to actually, and who don't know where they are but desire to, they can actually find the places to do it because there's the on the team ground that's been like, look, this is the places that we've gone to, this, and that. And so you have a dream like that, right? And that dream actively goes against the establishment. It's actually not even going against, it's just rebuilding something new, which inherently goes against the
What makes the
establishment.
establishment obsolete.
So if you come from a place where you are completely born in a world that's based on the establishment, which my parents succeeded at very well, then my mother was it's a classic story. My mother was a Chinese immigrant. The family got the restaurant. They benefited from having the skin privilege, and then my dad grew up poor, went to Stanford, got a job in the got a job working at Lawrence Livermore Lab, and just like got dived deep into the government shit, and like classic, like very benefited by the system. And then you have me over here who's like, I am opposed to all of that, and I'm going to do everything that I can to build something new simply because of the fact that I know it's possible and it has to happen.
It has to happen.
You have this explosion of worlds, and the ancestral trauma is when you grow up in the suburbs and you grow up in that mentality, your brain, your spirit is in survival mode. Your spirit's like, why do I feel like I can't? I've always had a dream. I've always had a knowing that, like, I've always had a knowing of how much power that we all inherently have within ourselves. And I know that I have faith in the people. I truly do. People just don't have a vision as to what to put their ideas and their manifestation towards. A lot of people don't, especially in the suburban world. So being in a position of where you have this clashing of worlds, it requires, because everything is spirit, it requires this break, right? It requires this huge shift in your mentality. And a lot of times we can't do these things alone. We need the assistance of somebody, an institution. That's why people go to the army. That's why people engage in relationships with other people, because we gather information about what the world really is by engaging with life around us. We learn our lessons from, and this is where it comes back to the interdependence. I couldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the people that I've met or engaged with or came from or knew around me. Like, I'm an extremely independent person, but in terms of my interdependence on this world, absolutely, I'm a part of this world, and this world is a part of me. I want to build reciprocal systems of where we can engage and pass information back and forth and create reciprocal interdependent systems of where I trust the fact that I'm building something and someone is building with me, someone being an energy or a frequency or a person or an organization. We create these established lines of communications based on trust and loyalty, and building towards mutual goals based on accountability, based on unconditional self-love, based on self-realized community building. So in order to be able to break out of the matrix fully, like this is what this tour was. And people, I know that engaging with trauma is what gives us the ability to appreciate the, diving deep into the ancestral trauma and healing it. You're going to engage with traumatic moments.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to look at that trauma in the face and be like, I know that as soon as I push through this, and my work of pushing through this and clearing it out is the work of being able to come to the other side with a fresh perspective. And that fresh perspective is going to keep me going to the next level, keep me going and building to the next level, and being able to see, it's like, all right, this is how we can do this. This is how we build a bridge towards that. This is how we build bridges of communication. And that's what's missing in our world right now. Everybody is fighting over race, over class, over this and that, but we're all spirit that is learning how to recommunicate with each other. If I sincerely believe that someone's life can change with a single conversation.
Yep.
A single sentence, a single word. Like, a word can be heard at the exact right moment, at the exact right divine timing, and all of a sudden it's just your whole life changes. I sincerely believe in that. And it's just accumulating a series of moments, conversations, dialogues and putting them into a position. Like that's what media does. Media creates all of these little moments that get
I'm a social media source.
yeah. Yes, and your words, like people engage with your social media, they engage with your influence, they engage with your posts, and it's like man, like I hadn't thought about it like that before. Or, man, like that was something that I was thinking about, but you said it and it just clicked in a different way. Holy shit, man. People go down this line of like, oh my god, like, and then and then the wires start crossing. Like that's what it is that we're rebuilding with these new systems of governance. And in order to really do that, you have to be courageous.
You have to. Courage the cowardly dog.
You have to be courageous in engaging with your trauma. You have to be courageous with engaging with other people's trauma, and you have to be patient ultimately with yourself.
That's the biggest thing. Like I'm not that patient of a guy, a being. I've been getting more and more patient as time goes on. Like I'm around people that are operating in a world where community and collaboration matter. Like I'm around it. I've attracted my world. I've invited you into my villages. Like you've got to see our world.
I've got to meet your baby.
Yes, you got to be in that.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've learned because of my Asperger's, people take that invite and they just give me their world. And even if their world doesn't have no pruning, they ain't do no pruning in that shit. You people. You hit me with the you people. You hit me with the Jewish versus the slave shit at the table on some Akbar shit. Ah, yeah.
Wait, Snell?
At the beginning of this conversation in regards to how we handle and engage with money and how you was like, yeah, my family from the hood, like if they from the projects, but
No, I mean,
do it change the fact? But does it change the fact that their skin gives them an advantage?
No, of course not.
So like that's the only thing about, and you did well with coming back, and after you heard yourself, you was like,
I mean, it's just being able to engage with. There is class struggle, and there's also an understanding that class struggle is very relative to the way that identity politics play out in these time frames.
So it's like us coming together was at the perfect time. We definitely appreciate it, and being this is a vulnerable moment. All of them has gotten a little bit more. We've got to sit back. We got to kick our feet up. Somebody said the energy of buying your love is when you were talking and discussing.
Twat.
Yeah, bro, I'm good. Like that's what people like. Yo, no, I'm good on that. And so in those time travel moments, we have them. You got to go to the bathroom.
I do.
Ashay.
On some pregnant people soon.
Do you want to end it, or I can sit and I can freestyle?
Yeah, freestyle.
Hey, there we go. I can freestyle. I like freestyle. We're gonna take a break, and I'm a freestyle this dope ass. This book right here is The Red Roads, 365 Days. This is like our devotional. It's February 1. The earth is the mother of all people, and all people should have equal rights upon it. Chief Joseph. We listened to them today. A native to know. Chief Joseph was a major celebrity during his lifetime. Born in what is now northeastern Oregon in 1840. They were the son of one of the first Nez Perce Christian converts, also named Joseph, who raised Chief Joseph to support peace with whites until the government betrayed the elder Joseph. Like, yeah, Joseph, you don't want me to talk about this? It's okay, bro. Poor connection over there on IG. Chief Joseph succeeded his father's position in 1871 after several skirmishes and difficulties with the U.S. government. He became an eloquent speaker against injustice and inequality and spoke in support of freedom. It's so funny how my IG started acting up as soon as we started talking Chief Joseph. And to create space shit. Get out of here, bro. All right, we back. KJ, what's good, my G? Hey. Yeah, so that's because the ancestors in the meta, it works a certain way. That's why we can only, I'm still in my silence. So even me wanting to do this freestyle, it kind of voids my silence. But I found a loophole. Let's go. Let's do some awesome West Coast shit. Slow down shit. KJ, what up, my G? Hey, hey, are you surviving or living the times? Asset acquisition of the land, code of silence to hear Imani, Chila, Oeyiting, young man, Soitzi, Yao. I'm like, Yao, mean I'm tall as hell, like understand the style, Ying, you see one, fuck it, make it. System S, that social media sorcerer is the best. Oh, this is too slow. Slow and reverb. I'm slowing down, love myself, not a clown. I just know I got to sing instead of moving everything. You just know how to tune into, understand your chopping screw, your voodoo do, your miss Badu. I tell you that this is what we do. This is what we do. I love myself, I trust myself, I honor me, I value we. I love myself, I trust myself, I honor me, I value we. I love myself in a very big thing. I understand that mission over everything. Like money over bitches, see, I want more. Mission over everything. Entanglement. I don't need any dependency. Yo, that jump was so slow. Like it was like extra slow. It was like I thought it was gonna be some G-Funk shit. Nah, man, that shit was like, all right, nigga, you need to sing to this. No, I'm not singing.
How to sound more confident in your writing. 1. Remove hedging language and be direct. For example,
Yeah, so when I started talking about Chief Joseph, the IG started messing up.
For real.
Yeah. The moment I started talking about it. Hey, many blessings. Much life to you over there, KJ.
What's up, KJ?
Yeah. I turned it up for a reason. Thank you.
Oh, I was just worried it was gonna cut out your voice.
It might. It's all right. We pull this shit over. It's okay. Like the new Range Rover. Like I'm the captain of my ship. I'm the last dime of this shit. Fuck that Pino, energy, no V's. That black monkey call me Bumpy. With the John, son, I'm just holding my mic. See, damn, I'm just telling you I'm hyphy. All the way from VA to the Bay, this shit just might be the best thing you ever saw in your damn life. Got Imani cheat or your ting on the damn mic, yeah. From the Taoist ring to the Taoist thing, I'm like a damn queen. That's a king and queen. That non-binary thing. We so tuned into every fucking thing. I'm like, fuck the queen, she's dead. Fuck her head, she can give me head from the grave. I'm just telling you, I'm so brave. Geronimo, Hawkeye, Chief Joseph, we're telling you this is our made day. So fuck your independence from your land. See, I'm telling you, I'm like the lamb and the shepherd bee. I'm the newest version of Malcolm Martin mixed with Nina. Understand this mic shit, get your little Nina. Cause I'm spitting off the top of the dome, that is my crown. Elevated shit, my smiles will make you frown. Cause I'm happy, I'm confident, my teeth is big, my ass is big. I understand my Asperger is in no way. A little time, a little rhyme. They like how you got 9 babies all the time. I know you done. No, not at all. I got 10000 in store. Got trillions of sales. I mean trillions of wells. I mean trillions of opportunity to get from hell. How do you get from hell? Cause devil is live backwards, so I just gotta live and be well. My health is my wealth and my free will stay spinning, stopping at the life sheet grinning. I'm just telling you, I'm just like Mike B. Hun told you that I'm just so hype. I might be best fucking Chief Joseph of this land, or the best native Navajo of this land. Told you I'm not just a man, I'm non-binary, so my feminine energy get a little scary. Yeah, I'm a queer. I understand I have a little fear. False evidence, get that shit up out of here. But I'm Homo sapien, a homosexual. I love the vagina, I love the feminine too. But I gotta tell you that 100K, that's not a lot of money, but it was right on day. It was right on time. Went on the new rhyme. I'm telling you that me and you are so aligned. All the time we give you misses. Understand the wrist is so glistening with the baller bands of the RBG or the LBGTQ fire department too. Hella positive. I'm just telling you the obstacle is be you until you are full. That's what Paradise the poet say. Around the bay, around the lake. It's calling Lake Merritt today. Hey. Hey, Ashley. Hey, that was awesome. Yeah, he said that beat fire. Talk to him. Damn, I go crazy. You going? Thank you. Yeah, we had a good session, bro. It's an hour and 24 minutes.
Character modeling? Find a 3D designer today. Fiverr. Start now.
Yeah,
I
fucked
was,
up my life.
when I was walking down the stairs, I was like, the dope. This is me thinking about money again, right? It's like the integration of our worlds is utilizing the being able to play the colonizer game while also utilizing the knowledge that money is an illusion.
Yeah.
It's like other people's money.
Opium.
Yeah. Is it still working?
No, I'm stopping mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you play the soundball? Hey. Yeah, man. Learning how to use other people's money is the best thing ever. I appreciate you, KJ. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I go Jay Usu.
I'll go shave.
You can do the bell and lead us with some breaths.
Let me do the breath. I'll do the bill. You know what we should do?
What's that?
Every time that we start to get into a disagreement, we should go live.
I'm down, bro, nigga. Like, because you be wanting to try me, nigga. You be wanting to try me. So, like, I'm down because, like I told you.
Every time, because that's,
Yo,
like, that's one of those agreements that's just like.
Yo,
okay,
you
like,
said it, my nigga. Hey, Nye, what's up? You said it right when Naisha came on. So, like, I'm all the way in because this is the dopest thing about what we do. I told you we had our conversation before we had this conversation. I felt we talking FBI being Men in Black. We talking fucking Malcolm and Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Nah, like yo, we in it. Like Nye, thank you so much for your conversations yesterday. It cleared the path. It opened up. Imani was talking thick to us. Like, look, we got to do some amazing art and some awesome notes. So I'm down for that. But like right now, every day we do this live. So we want to do it right around the time that like we can do. I'm down for up to 3 lives a day. But like I watch how many people have opened themselves up to us as we in this moment. And I'm listening to my therapist and being able to share my sounds with a certain amount of people. Like everybody didn't stay the whole time. It's cool. And the people that was on my device, they had to leave because I create agreements within my conversation. And just how you made agreements with your parents, I made agreements with my therapist, I made agreements with my business partners, I made agreements with my children and their children. Like I'm down with it because we be lit and
I think being able to document disagreements provides because I know like immediately as soon as it's like being able to, it's almost like having a safe word. It's like if you get to a certain level in a disagreement, you just go banana. It's a potential to reset the situation and add some levity to it. It's like, all right, like we know we're on the same page about the things that are really important to us, and we're just engaging with our ancestors are engaging with their trauma right now, and being able to say something like banana or start putting up a live
Nah, it gives an opportunity for that trauma to be handled a certain way. That's why I started going live when I started getting all these downloads.
And
I got hundreds of videos.
And I think because of the fact that we're an interracial couple, and also for the fact that, you know, on social media, everybody always sees the nice, squishy.
I don't got no time for that shit, man. Fuck all that Taoist nothing. It's bothering me.
I like some of the squishy
Yeah, you
stuff.
could like. That's why we're a partnership.
Yeah,
I'm not in that vein right now.
Yeah, I like
I'm in like, yo, we here. I'm a fucking God. This is our nation, and we one nation under God and John. And like I told you, the vibration I'm in, I'm under that squishy stuff. Put our children in pedophilia's or predators' hands. I'm without having balance. Like, I'm not coming against your squishy. I'm just letting you know what it does.
No, the overbalance of anything creates an issue.
Yeah, so I'm good.
I think squishy is important. It's like being able to showcase the positive, being able to showcase the authentic love, and part of the authentic love is also the disagreement.
Yeah, bro. I just want authentic sound exchange. I don't give a fuck if it's squishy, if it's hard, if it's like wet or dry. Nah, bro. Just be authentic. You in that mood right now? Be that. Don't try to be nice because the fucking cameras are on. Like, no. That's what we had these past 2 vulnerable moments. No, I'm not being nice to you no more in front of the camera. Like, I'm not. How I feel, I'm saying it because it's how I feel, not because I want to attack your vibration. And learning how to have disagreements maturely is how you grow. This was an awesome video. And then we're going to go into some silence after this. I'm good. We just talked for a whole couple hours. Woke up and we went right into a session. Yeah, you could go back to sleep after this. We still in prep mode. We're gonna go into that rap that I just did was a prayer. Prayer is the power that penetrates all, and we're gonna go into some breath work. So let's take a deep breath in. Place your hand on your heart. Deep breath in, and just release the ocean breath. The next one we're going to do is say, I love myself when we breathe out, okay? Deep breath in. As you breathe out, releasing, I love myself. And we're going to do that again, right? When we say, I love myself, where your hands is, let's push the love in yourself into your heart. Deep breath in. Release it. I love myself. And this next one, we're going to do a deep breath in and we're going to release the yam. Yam stands for the heart chakra, calibrates all of the energies or any sounds that may be off in our frequency. It's for calibration. Deep breath in. Release the yam. Yama, 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 no more time for the drama. Peace. Y'all stay blessed and join us tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow, 6:39 is the goal, but we may have a disagreement first thing in the morning, and y'all might join us early. But like, tune in. I just did it, and you just negated it. Like, that's the thing. That's the awesome thing about the time lapses. You put agreement out for us to go live whenever there is an agreement, right? A disagreement, and then say you don't want one tomorrow. That's cognitive dissonance, and I'm good on all that shit. Like, I know. So whenever it happens, it's gonna be from a place of maturity. Y'all stay blessed and favored, bro. I don't want that. Take your ass to sleep, nigga. Good.